Finally, I've heard a lot about British dishes. You have? British dishes? Like chicken curry, which is Indian? I'm not very familiar with British dishes. A good friend of yours who lives in Canada has just invited you to give him or her a visit. Yes, you're going to Canada. All right, but what should you bring? What gifts? What to do once you're in Canada? What, where are you going to stay? And if you're going to stay with your friend, what presents are you going to bring? It's definitely not good to go there empty-handed. I'm just saying, maybe you should consider bringing something because your friend is doing you a favor inviting you to Canada. Now you can do something maybe just to appreciate the gesture. I know it's different from a culture to another culture, but that is the topic we are going to discuss today. Welcome to IELTS Juice. We have a letter for general training module at IELTS, and the rubric says, a friend you met last year has invited you to visit him or her in his or her country. In order to avoid this confusion, I'm just going to assume, for just my explanation, I'm just going to assume that this friend's name is Robert. So you met Robert last year, and maybe Robert was on a small tour in your country. So you met, you became very good friends, you stayed in contact, and now Robert is back in Canada, and he has just sent you a letter of invitation and invited you over to meet him personally in Canada. Now, you have never been to Canada before, and you need some information before you leave. Of course, you definitely need to be prestigious. You need to bring the best of your culture. And this friend who you have only known for 1 year is some valuable individual in your life. And thanks to him, you're now going to Canada. Again, these are just examples. You can come up with a different scenario, but you can already see that my example is giving me opinions, ideas. It invokes feelings. So you might agree or disagree with me, but that's the point. You now have something to talk about. And that's one of the ways you can increase the number of ideas and vocabulary and grammatical points that you can write for your letters. Let's look at the bullet points. It says, of course, write a letter to your friend, and in your letter, request advice about a gift for his family, Robert's family. All right, good. We are going to ask him for advice. Like, we are going to ask the host, which is the best person in this case, what to bring to him and to his family. Ask about activities and clothing in his country. Nice. So yeah, that's important because Canada tends to get very cold. So you need to know what type of clothing you need to bring, what works best there, and also what activities can you do. I know Canadians love hockey, so you might want to start learning the rules of the game. Maybe you can book, I don't know, a game to watch together at a stadium. I don't know, you can watch a game basically while you're there. So together and have fun. And finally, find out about the food. Okay, so yeah, you need to know where to go in Canada, which restaurants to go, what type of food to eat, those things. I love this letter. It's very, very straightforward. And you basically need a letter to talk to your host, in this case, Robert, and you just make some requests and you wait for the response. In this case, you are initiating the letter, so you are the first person who starts this conversation. And once you make these inquiries, questions, you will expect an answer soon. So let's start reading the letter. Oh, this letter's host's name is Mike, not Robert. Okay, we need to say goodbye to my Robert and say hi to Mike. Dear Mike, it's really generous of you to invite us over to London. Okay. Mike is from the UK. But I have a few questions to ask, as I've never been to the UK before. Look at the informal language. Because this is an informal letter, you see, you're addressing your friend with their first name, Mike. Specifically, I have trouble finding out the perfect present. Finding out is understanding. You have trouble finding the perfect present because you search, you seek, you look. You don't need to understand the perfect present. So to find, trouble finding the perfect present for your mom and dad. Mom, dad. It means that you or Mike's parents know you, even personally. So you can address them as your mom, your dad, instead of your mother and your father. Because this shows a relatively closer relationship, which is nice. I also need to know a little bit about the activities, the acceptable clothing, and the cuisine of your people. Okay, understood. It's not any acceptable clothing. The acceptable clothing of the British people. Understood. Understood. Look at the sequences of events. You need to know the activities and the type of clothing and also the food. So these three are basically these three: activities, clothing, and food. And I really like that. This is a very good, how can I say it? An introductory paragraph with a very good thesis statement. This is not an essay, but there are very good elements of a healthy essay, a healthy piece of writing, which we normally do not expect them to appear in task 1, but when they do, they are magnificent. It's definitely a good practice, but not many do that. I'm just telling you that right now. Firstly, let me know that I can get what I can get for your parents from here as a tribute to their hospitality. Oh, firstly, let me tell you, let me know what I can get for your parents. So you really want to know what to buy for Mike's parents as a tribute. It's a beautiful word. For their hospitality, another beautiful word. Iran. Oh, so we understood where this individual comes from. So it's a country in the Middle East. You have met an individual from the Great Britain and his parents. So that's why we initiated this letter. Let's move on. Iran has several famous souvenirs. Oh, souvenir is a good word. Namely, it's a good connector. Saffron, wow. Berberries, yes. Pistachios, nice. I was thinking of a package of each. Yeah, a package of each. That's enough. We already know what we're talking about, so this is redundant. What do you think? Okay. Let me say that basically IELTS doesn't like questions. There are no rules. If you write questions, you will not lose any marks, you will not gain any marks. IELTS doesn't like to hear these questions because basically nobody's going to answer them. But in this realistic scenario, because you have already started a communication, it is natural that you are asking Mike some questions. So naturally, some of your sentences will end in a question mark. And that is absolutely correct. Now, this is an informal letter, so you can ask direct questions. What do you think? It's a direct question at Mike. You are asking this question directly from Mike. So, cool. This is okay. Secondly, I need to know more about the activities we can do there and what type of clothing I should bring. Okay, now that's a very good opening statement, opening sentence, a good topic sentence for this paragraph. And I'm going to read ahead. And I already see 2 sentences, so this looks like a healthy paragraph. I already planned for outdoor activities and formal gatherings, so I've prepared cloths. No, clothes. There's a missing E here. Cloths has a different meaning. For these occasions. Is there anything I've missed? So I've prepared clothes for these occasions. All right. But you do not specify which type of clothing, which item of clothing, in what quality. You also did not mention activities. What activities? Outdoor activities? Yes. What type? Picnics? Or you want to visit a camp? You have your Mike has a cabin that you guys can stay there? Hiking? I don't know, bird watching, whatever activity you would like to see or hear, please, we needed more details here. This is correct, but it's not enough. Needs more development. Is there anything I've missed? Yeah, a little bit more details. Finally, I've heard a lot about British dishes. You have? British dishes? Like chicken curry, which is Indian. I'm not very familiar with British dishes. I know British breakfast, sure. Other dishes? Okay. But I need an expert's comments. Oh my God, exclamation mark. Exclamation marks are very rare at IELTS. You basically do not need them because they may sound very offensive sometimes. So it's a very, very risky move to use exclamation marks. We cannot use them for essays. We cannot use them for formal letters. Only in informal letters and only in like rare circumstances where you actually know what you're doing. And the writer here knows what he or she is doing. Let me tell you why. I need an expert's comments, meaning I believe, Mike, you are an expert in the British cuisine. I know that because I have tasted it, and I know you're either good or you're good enough, wink, wink. And this kind gives the reader, Mike in this case, a little laughter. It will put a smile on Mike's face. But I need an expert's comments, exclamation mark. There's a little bit of mischief going on here, which is spot on. It's exactly where it needs to be. I'm particularly interested in traditional meals. Okay, I am still confused. What traditional British dishes? I mean, every time I think about British dishes, chicken curry comes to my mind. I mean, it's just me. Maybe my knowledge is not wide enough. You let me, guys, know what I'm missing here. What British dishes are there that I'm not aware of? Let me know. Okay, I want to know. I admire British breakfast, by the way, but any other dishes? I don't know. Interested in traditional meals. What are the most famous traditional dishes we can try? And where is the best place to get them dishes? I understand or we can just change it, revert it to what is the most famous traditional dish we can try, and where is the place to get it. That would be correct. So we either need to change this verb into a verb that matches a singular subject, or if the verb remains intact, then we need to change dish into dishes and it into them, because them refers to dishes. All right. Sorry if I asked a lot. And looking forward to hearing from you. Okay, it's just one sentence. It's just one sentence. They are not related. Using and here just to make them related is a bit not ideal, let's say. It's not the best option. All the best, and then you write your name. And you don't have to sign. Always IELTS tells us not to sign the letter. 205 words. Can we take a look at the band descriptors, please? Okay. Oh my God. I love the sequence of events, for sure. Cohesion, the use of cohesive devices to control from transition from one sentence to another. I only had one issue with referencing it, them. Yeah. And then one sentence paragraphs, again, prevents us from going any further than this. As for task achievement, only a little bit of more information in the second body paragraph. What the activity types, the outdoor activity, maybe we should have named one or two. And instead of just saying outdoor activities, more information there could have helped, really. Maybe some examples of outdoor activities. The other elements were developed very well. And lexical resource, everything. I mean, I love the vocabulary. The vocabulary range was wide, but wasn't wide in all elements. We had words like pistachio and some other souvenirs, actually. I love those words. But towards the end, then the number of these words were not as high. So it gives me a sense that the knowledge of vocabulary is only limited to a certain category. And that is an element that will prevent a 9. Because 9 means a wide range. So it doesn't matter which category you're talking about. You have the vocabulary for that category. But I can tell you this is wide, but it doesn't get 9. Needed more consistency in the number of vocabulary throughout. Grammatical range and accuracy, I didn't have major errors, just subject-verb disagreement in one part. And basically it. The errors did not affect my understanding. And the number of errors was very minimal. So all in all, 7 is a healthy score. But to get it to 7.5, we need to fix the elements I just said. If you wish to see the 7.5 version, because up until now, we have realized how we can improve this. But to see them in place, there's a link in the description that will take you to the IELTS Juice website, where you need just to scroll down and see the 7.5 version of this letter, along with the videos and the planning videos and more information about the assessments and a lot of all important elements that you can enjoy. If you wish to see other letters or essays assessed and improved, please click over here. Please consider subscribing up there down below for more content like this. And as always, I hope I'll be assessing your letter or maybe essay next time. Take care.